Virginia, a state that once proudly boasted a rich manufacturing history, is now witnessing a quiet exodus. Businesses, job creators, and millions in investment, packing their bags, spurred not by economic downturns, but by the very laws designed to govern its citizens. This unfolding migration reveals a stark regional divide, reshaping America's industrial landscape and challenging preconceived notions about policy and prosperity. On June 10, 2026, the firearms designer and manufacturer Rideout Arsenal announced its irreversible decision to leave its home state of Virginia. This wasn't a sudden whim, but a painful realization by founders Travis and Kelsey Rideout, who had never initially intended to move their operations. Their departure signals a growing discomfort among smaller, active manufacturers in the face of shifting legislative winds. The destination chosen was Thomasville, Georgia, a state actively courting businesses. Rideout Arsenal plans a significant investment there, injecting $22 million into building a new manufacturing facility. This move isn't just about relocating production. It forecasts tangible economic growth for Georgia, with an expected creation of 120 new jobs over the coming years, directly countering Virginia's loss. What compelled this significant shift? With Democrats holding both legislative and gubernatorial power, Virginia passed a package of sweeping new gun control laws. These regulations, set to take effect on July 1, 2026, created an environment hostile to firearms manufacturing, directly impacting companies like Rideout Arsenal and their ability to operate profitably within the state. These new Virginia laws are extensive. They include a ban on the sale of various semi-automatic firearms and certain large-capacity magazines, directly impacting product lines for manufacturers. Furthermore, they restrict unserialized firearms, often dubbed ghost guns, and impose new limits on carrying firearms in public, fundamentally altering the market manufacturers serve. Crucially, Virginia also enacted laws that expand civil liability for gun manufacturers and dealers. This legal exposure creates an unbearable risk for businesses, increasing operational costs and inviting lawsuits over the criminal misuse of their products. Such measures are interpreted by the industry as a direct attack, accelerating the decision to seek friendlier jurisdictions. The expanded liability is a severe blow. While Virginia legislated restrictions, Georgia actively rolled out the welcome mat. Governor Brian Kemp openly recruited Rideout Arsenal, emphasizing the state's skilled workforce and steadfast support for constitutional freedoms. Georgia specifically markets itself to firearms businesses, positioning the state as a secure, long-term home for an industry increasingly under pressure elsewhere, making relocation efforts seamless and attractive for businesses. Beyond rhetoric, Georgia offers concrete advantages: lower operating costs, significant tax incentives, and robust political support. These factors collectively sealed Rideout Arsenal's decision, illustrating a clear divergence in state policies. While Virginia adopted what the industry views as hostile legislation, Georgia provided a haven, proving that economic considerations frequently trump historical state ties in critical business decisions. Rideout Arsenal's move is not an isolated incident, but part of a much larger seismic shift. Over the past decade, at least 20 firearms manufacturers have shifted operations from politically blue states to more gun-friendly conservative states. This widespread migration redraws the map, solidifying the U.S. firearms industry's roots in the South and West, away from its traditional northeastern strongholds. States like New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, Connecticut, Colorado, and now Virginia are consistently losing this valuable industry. Their economic losses are matched by gains in states such as Florida, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Wyoming, and Alabama. This pattern weakens manufacturing ties to the Northeast, ties that historically stretch back to the Revolutionary War, fundamentally altering economic and political landscapes. Perhaps the most significant defection involved Smith & Wesson, one of America's oldest gun makers, rooted in Springfield, Massachusetts, since the 1850s. In 2021, the company announced its monumental departure after Massachusetts considered banning the manufacture of certain semi-automatic rifles. This was a critical blow, as these products comprised over 60% of Smith & Wesson's revenue at the time. The iconic company moved its headquarters to Maryville, Tennessee. This relocation represented an investment of approximately $125 to $150 million, bringing roughly 750 jobs to Tennessee. This colossal shift, driven by legislative changes, starkly illustrates that even historical giants will uproot centuries of legacy to protect their business interests and find a more conducive operating environment. Other major players have also pursued this path. Beretta moved from Maryland to Gallatin, Tennessee, investing tens of millions and creating about 300 jobs after Maryland passed firearm restrictions. Magpul, a key accessory maker, departed Colorado for Texas and Wyoming, directly responding to Colorado's ban on high-capacity magazines, taking its valuable manufacturing with it. This pattern of industry relocation is undeniable. Remington, Winchester, Stag Arms, Troy Industries, and Carr Firearms are among other notable companies that have relocated from blue states. Each relocation drains jobs, tax revenue, and critical manufacturing capacity from the departing states, transferring these assets to more firearm-friendly jurisdictions. This consistent migration paints a clear picture of an industry voting with its feet, seeking stability and support. Manufacturers consistently cite new restrictions on what they can build and sell, coupled with expanded civil liability laws, as primary drivers for their departure. Industry leaders describe the political climate in these blue states as openly hostile to firearms businesses. Conversely, recruiting states offer potent incentives, tax breaks, lower operating costs, and vocal public political support, creating a sharp contrast. Every relocation, regardless of size, drains payroll, investment, and tax revenue from states like Virginia, while receiving states gain factories, jobs, and a growing industrial base. Rideout Arsenal's move, though small on its own, fits a consistent pattern that has profoundly reshaped American gun manufacturing. As Virginia's newest laws take effect this July, the critical question remains: how many more companies will follow Rideout out the door?